Hello, everybody. How are you all tonight? So, picked up a new ninth generation iPad, as I mentioned the other night, here on YouTube, and it's actually a little bit better than I thought. It has this wide screen um, angle. I can't change it while I'm in here, so I can't show you the difference. But it zooms out a little bit more. It shows a little bit more of the background and everything, which in my previous videos you never saw. So I need to look at the camera. Look at the camera. So I need to put like a little sticky note over next to the camera with a little face. Yeah, it says YouTube audience. So let me look over there. But yeah, so it served well, and I watched a couple of videos on YouTube, like talking about the differences between the ninth generation, which I have, and the 10th generation, which is the latest. And I guess they're working on coming out with like an 11th generation iPad here in 2023 or early 2024. So, but I really think this ninth is serving me well. It was like I don't know if I mentioned it the other night, but it was like $200 cheaper than the 10th generation, the one that has the squared edges around the edges. Um, this one's more of a traditional iPad, like sort of like the old iPad Air 2 or whatever that it still has like the home button on it and the little things, or the little edges around the bezel, um, beveled edges. I don't know, but it's good. I really like it, and the quality seems fine right now, video wise. It's probably a little bit better even than my MacBook Pro M1 um, here in this lighting that I've always used. Now that I've wide angled it out, and these lights are getting in here, it's actually a bit better. There you go. The two lights. Um, look at the camera. Look at the camera. So yeah, it's been a good evening. I met up with a friend of mine earlier this evening who's in from out of state, and had a beer or two, and got home probably around 10. And I've just been sitting out here talking with an associate of mine about some new web projects we're working on, and looking forward to those, getting back into the swing of things, and like sort of a new startup that we're working on. It's nothing revolutionary or anything, but it's something that we're doing for our own community to sort of promote around here as a better alternative than commercial third-party services. I'll get into that maybe in a future podcast, but we're working on some new apps, some new web apps and stuff, and then I've been working with a company on hotel bookings, not hotels necessarily, but rental, vacation rentals. So I've been using some new plugins on WordPress for them, and then linking that plugin with VRBO. I need to probably work on that more tomorrow for them. I got some of their issues fixed. They had like an old website, their own website for their own company. It had an old version of the plugin. It was like 3 years old, and it wasn't properly syncing and syncing the data with VRBO, because it's been like 3 years since it was updated. So I updated the plugins, and the website started functioning quite a bit better. But there's still some things I think I need to do to get it completely working properly. So yeah, my friend just texted me back. Yeah, really good progress. Must be working. Okay, he just clicked a thumbs up on my text. So we're both old-time programmers from the old days, and we were just sort of, like I said, talking shop, talking about the app and everything. Sort of getting back into our roots a little bit, I guess. He's been out of program. Well, he's programmed on and off over the years for different groups that he was involved in and stuff. And then, of course, me being a technology guy and a web hosting and web design type guy, I've been coding, even though I haven't been doing it professionally for like a company, like a 9 to 5 job. I've still been coding and web hosting and setting up servers and doing all the stuff that I would normally be making a ton of money with in the private sector. I've been doing it on my own and as a freelancer. So honestly, I think I've learned more as a freelancer than I ever could have as a 9 to 5, because as a 9 to 5er, my work and my time would have been constrained to the project. Whereas the work I do now as a freelancer, I can dive deep into different rabbit holes and go into different areas. For example, setting up, I got a Ubuntu server, and then I get into Docker, and then I get into database and database like replication and clustering, and um, you know, and then for the web hosting, getting into like PHP Memcache and caching things, and Google page speed add-ons and stuff onto the web server. And so as a freelancer, you tend to be able to like gain more of a breadth of knowledge than you could if you were stuck in a 9 to 5, where those other things weren't project requirements. You might run across them, but you're like, I can't spend or waste my time on those things because it's not a part of the project. It's not a part of the requirements of this site or whatever. So yeah, so freelance has its pros. I guess the cons are you're typically not making as much money as you would in the private sector on a 9 to 5, so that's a big con. But the pros are of freelance is that you tend to learn a lot more. You get into a lot more, and the rabbit holes are endless. So it might take more time, but that time gains you more skill. More skills gains you more marketability when it comes to what you can do. I had a person that I met last week ask me, like, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, well, whatever I want. I do web hosting, web design. I do communication systems. I do wireless and Wi-Fi and firewalls, and these are all over the years. These are all different rabbit holes, quote unquote, that I went down and was able to gain a huge amount of knowledge in these different areas to be able to become more marketable to people and offer more services to my clients. Just maybe 2 weeks ago, I finally realized I hit sort of a threshold in one of my skill sets, to the point to where I emailed maybe 5 or 6 of my existing clients and said, hey, I can do this now. Do you need this service or whatever? Maybe two or three of them out of those 5 came back and said, yeah, let's set up a call. Let's set up a time to where we can talk about it. So yeah. So I guess I'm rambling a bit now, but I just wanted to jump in here, give a bit of an update and talk. My channel name is DC Entropy Chaos. So I never know exactly where any particular conversation that I have here with everybody's going to go, and that's the beauty of it. Just talk, and maybe I'll strike a chord with somebody. Somebody will have a comment or whatever. So, gonna jump out. Everybody have a good night and peace out.